Typically, the reason why they need a lower rate is it trickles. So as a consumer, without understanding what we know, without having the license that we have, they just understand that their mortgage, if it has a lower rate, it lowers the payment. So if a prospect had, let's say, you're just actually thinking about how the prospect's coming about their goal and their intention, they'll meet with their wife or their spouse and they'll be like, hey babe, we're spending a lot of money on credit cards. We need to save some money. And let's just say those credit card debts are $500 per month. Their solution to the $500 a month is to take the biggest debt and lower their rate, right? Ideally, they want to create a solution or enough cash flow to handle that $500 in debt. Make sense? This is how they're thinking. And so when they call a lender, their first question, of course, is, I want a lower rate. We have to learn how to accept that message in a different light. I hope that you guys don't ever put yourself in a position where you have to hear it, and I'm gonna share with you how you can avoid putting yourself in that situation, at least right from the very beginning. That question's gonna come up, regardless of what we do. At some point, it can come up. But if you get creative with the information that you learn on Sales Remastered, you're going to position yourself so craftfully that a lot of times they may not even ask you for the rate. They'll literally buy, and then they'll call you back and say, hey, Daniel, I didn't even ask you for the rate. That's when you know you're effectively doing it, right? And what I'm talking about is that you've literally dismantled their guard, just like in this example, and you allowed the message that you're trying to convey to be received in a different way. So I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm gonna give you an example. Each and every single one of you are going to pitch a deal. At some point in time, you're gonna pitch a deal, right? And the traditional way that you may even hear on your sales floor today is, hey, Mr. Jones, I got those options for you. Grab a pen and paper. This is just the common way, right? And then you're gonna say, hey, Mr. Jones, okay, we got option number one. Option number one is 4.5, 30-year fixed, but no closing costs. I'm gonna give you a payment deferral. I'm gonna give you your escrow refund. I'm gonna pay off all this debt. I'm gonna create more than $500 in monthly savings. I'm gonna help you put 12 months of living expenses in your bank. You could say everything and anything after that delivery. So if you're not empathetic enough to be aware that all they heard was 4.5, right? So regardless of what wording or what delivery you had thereafter, they just heard options and they heard 4.5. And so if we think about ourselves and our day-to-day life and how many distractions we have, with us just being focused on saving time and not wasting time, we're gonna be more like, what's the next option, right? So in other words, they didn't hear the entire delivery, no matter how great your delivery was. They just started off with understanding as the engagement as being an option.
Connected to Sales Remastered.